Manje kuleso statement esithape kungani kungabhalanga ukuthi ke uMr Matlala wayedinga ikhadi ngokusheshsha ukuthi uyohlangana noDeputy President Mashatile kanye noGeneral Sibiya emva kwalokho.
Kungabe kube impazamo embhalweni or ekubhalweni kuyi-type statement ngakubalanga lokho.
It could be a mistake on a statement or when the statement is written that I omitted that.
Futhi ke engikubhale kule statement engibhale ngaso ngesandla akusho ukuthi siyamanga ngoba lokho angikufakanga la.
And again, on the handwritten statement, doesn't mean that it's a lie because I didn't mention that on this statement,
On the type statement.
on the type statement.
So what's in the handwritten statement in this regard is true.
Ukuthi okuse statement yene esibhalwe ngesandla kuyiqiniso.
Ukuya ngale paragraph.
Just the statement that Mr. Matlala told you he needed the card urgently as he was going to meet the Deputy President.
Kuthi kule nkulumo yokuthi uMnumzane Matlala ufuna ikhadi ngokuthi uyohlangana noDeputy President.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
Now, why would you forget to mention something like that in your statement to the Commission?
Kungani ukhohlwe lokho ukufaka kule statement osubmitile ku commission?
Uma nomunye umuntu yawayenza amaphutha kungabe ngikhohliwe ngaleso sikhathi maybe ngokufake ngenhliziyo kanti ngokumbhala ngokufakanga.
Everybody can make a mistake in writing, and maybe I thought I have written it just by where I was thinking, and I did not put it in.
It wasn't just in the statement, it was also when I questioned you in relation to the card and your conversations with Mr. Matlala relating to the card in the hearing. You didn't mention it there either. Is there a reason?
Akusinje estatementini lese noma estatementini kungekho unangale nkathi ubuzwa imibuzo azange ukusho lokho ukuthi ke uMnumzane Matlala wayefuna ikhadi njengoba ayohlangana nayo Deputy President.
Ngisami kula amagama wami ngophendula ekuqaleni.
I'm still standing on my answer.
You answered that it is the truth, but you just made a mistake in not mentioning it.
Amazwi akho ukuthi kuyiqiniso kodwa ukhohliwe ukukhulu ukumenshina lo.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
Is it not possible that you were trying to protect the Deputy President by not mentioning it?
Akuseqiniswa ukuthi mhlambe wawuzama ukuprotect our Deputy President?
Cha.
No.
Well, let me take you through the various versions that you've given in relation to this card. If we take them chronologically, the first one is the handwritten statement. And I'll take you through all of the versions, and then I want to point out some contradictions that I'd like you to try to explain. The version in the handwritten statement is that in December 2024 or January 2025, Mr. Msibi's son asked you to go and fetch the jet ski from Mr. Matlala. You collected the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm. Later that week, Mr. Matlala asked you to look for a card and a driver's license in the dash of the jet ski. You couldn't take it to him because you were busy. You couldn't ask him to come collect it from the office because you weren't there. It implies that you had the card at the office. He wanted the card urgently because he was going to meet with the Deputy President and then General Sabia. So you took pictures of the card and sent them to him. And that statement doesn't mention when the card was returned, but we do know that the pictures were sent on the 23rd of December. That was the first version.
Sergeant Kosi, you confirm everything that Mr. Shaskalsina just said?
I do confirm my...
Thank you.
The second version was in the statement that you gave to the Commission. In that statement, you didn't mention collecting the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm. You didn't mention a call from Mr. Matlala. You didn't mention Mr. Matlala saying he needs the card urgently because he's going to meet the Deputy President and then General Sabia. What you did say is at paragraph 5, you say you found the card on the 23rd of December in the boat of Mr. Msibi, and you notified Mr. Matlala that he left the, sorry, in the jet ski, not the boat. And you notified Mr. Matlala that he had left the jet ski, the bank card in the jet ski. That was all on the 23rd of December. You then mention that you have used the card previously to withdraw money on behalf of Mr. Matlala to pay for materials to refurbish his boat and the jet ski of Mr. Msibi that he was using, and also to buy the jet ski service kit. You can't recall the dates when you used the card to withdraw money, but that was way before 23 December. Now,
do you confirm this too, Sergeant Kosi, and this relates to the typed statement that you've submitted to the
I confirm, Commissioner.
Thank you.
and you also referred then to 2 WhatsApps from Mr. Matlala on the 5th and 21st of January, referring to plastic, which you said was a reference to the card. That was in paragraph 7 of your statement.
You confirm that as well.
Can you repeat that, Mr.?
In paragraph 7 of your statement, you referred to 2 WhatsApps sent by Mr. Matlala on the 5th and 21st of January, where he referred to the card as, quote, plastic, and he complained that the card had long been left at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. I can read the statement to you in your statement. I further aver that the plastic referred to on the WhatsApp's message dated 5 January 2025 and 21 January 25, he was requesting I return to him his card, averred above, as it was long left at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. You see that?
Yes, I see.
Now, there was no mention of these WhatsApps in your written statement. There was no mention in your written statement of your...
By written, you mean handwritten?
Handwritten statement. There was no mention of the fact that you had made withdrawals on the card to fix the boat and the jet ski. And there was no mention in the written statement that the card had long been at Mr. Msibi's place of abode. The third version was your first version in oral evidence. It was that you found the card in the jet ski on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm, and you dated that trip back from Mr. Matlala's farm with the jet ski at approximately September 2024. And then your fourth version was another version in oral evidence.
Should we not deal with these one by one and get responses here?
Well, let me take you to your...
Perhaps the third version. And let's get a response.
I say, can you explain the circumstances in which you found it? Talking about the card. Was the jet ski at Hammanskraal when you found it? Was the jet ski somewhere else? You say, I found it on my way back. I say, on your way back? You say, to collect it, yes. On my way back to collect the jet ski. And I say, to collect the jet ski from where? And you say, from the farm where it was, at Mr. Matlala's place, Mr. Matlala's farm. So you found it on the way back from collecting it from Mr. Matlala's farm, and you have earlier in your evidence on the same day confirmed that you collected the jet ski in around September 2024. You recall all of that?
I recall.
But when I took you up on that issue in oral evidence, you immediately changed your version, and then you said, actually I found it at Hartbeespoort Dam. I found the card at Hartbeespoort Dam when I'd taken the jet ski to Hartbeespoort Dam. And that came later. I said, where were you when you found the card inside the jet ski? And you say, I was in the dam. Which dam? Hartbeespoort Dam. So there are a whole range of issues on which you've given fundamentally contradictory evidence in relation to this card.
I disagree.
Well, the first issue is, did you find the card in September, or did you find the card in December? You've said, on some occasions you've said it was when you were fetching the jet ski, or shortly thereafter, which would have been September. On other occasions you've said it was on the day that you sent the pictures to Mr. Matlala, which we know to be the 23rd of December. And you have also said when you were in Hartbeespoort Dam, it would have been in December. So there are two different versions. One is September, one is December. Which one is it?
Firstly, I want to rectify the statement that you just made, that I said I found the card on my way back. One, I said I did not find it on my way back. I found it when I was in RTBS. On that one, I did not agree and said I found it when I was on my way back. As in now, I'm changing the statement that I've changed from finding it on my way back to finding it at RTBS. I did not admit to that.
Well, no, I'm not talking about admissions, but on two separate occasions, you've said that you found the card either on your way back from Mr. Matlala's farm in September or later that week. So the handwritten statement says it was later that week. It says, on my arrival, I was found by Mr. Matlala at the gate, then I took the card away, but later on that week he phoned me, telling me he's looking for the card. So the version in the handwritten statement is it was within a week of fetching the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's farm, which we know was approximately September. That wasn't the only point at which you said that it was in September. Your first answer in oral evidence when I asked when you found the card was you found it on your way back from collecting the jet ski from Mr. Matlala's place, which we know was in approximately September. So on two separate occasions you've said September. On two other occasions you've corrected that, or tried to correct it and say December. That's the first contradiction. The second contradiction is how you found the card, whether you found it independently or whether you found it because you were called by Mr. Matlala. So in the handwritten statement, it was Mr. Matlala who alerts you to the existence of the card. And the handwritten statement not only says that, but then puts up a version which is only consistent with your being alerted to the existence of the card by Mr. Matlala. So if you look at page 1339, same paragraph that I have just mentioned from the handwritten statement, paragraph 20. On my arrival, I was found by Mr. Matlala at the gate, and then I took it away, in other words, the jet ski, but later on that week he phoned me, telling me he is looking for the card and bank card and driver's license that he kept in the dash of the jet ski. By the time he called me, I was busy, so I could not take it to him or let him come to the office as I was not there. So it is very clearly in the handwritten statement Mr. Matlala who's calling you and alerting you to the existence of the farm of the card for the first time. It's not you independently discovering the card and then calling Mr. Matlala. So that's the version in the handwritten statement. But in the typed statement, the version is different. It's that you found the card and you then called Mr. Matlala. That's the second big contradiction. The third big contradiction is where you found the card. In the handwritten statement and the written statement, you don't mention where you found the card. In oral evidence, you've given two different versions. The first version is on your way back. You found it yourself on your way back from Limpopo, where you fetched the jet ski. The second version was you found it when you opened the dash at Hartebeespoort Dam looking for the key of the jet ski when you were going to use it for the first time after you had returned it. So those are two contradictory versions. It's a third contradiction in your story of the card.
Do you want him to comment?
Well, ultimately, I'm going to ask you to comment on all three contradictions. I've already asked you to comment on the failure to mention Mr. Matlala's linking of his urgency to recover the card with his visit to the Deputy President. So let's take those contradictions one by one. The first contradiction is when you found the card. Was it September or was it December?
December.
Why then did you twice give a version that could only be consistent with having found the card in September? That the card was found within a week of either on your way back from returning from Mr. Matlala's farm or later in that same week? Why do we get those two versions from you, one in your handwritten statement, one in your oral evidence?